don't know what it is, but like smoke comes out of the ground and completely covers it. Hello, and welcome to One Voice Live, where we talk about One Voice, what it is, and how it fits into the world of singing. I'm your host, Zeto, and I'm joined today by certified One Voice coach, Jackson Perrin. Jackson, hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. Happy to be here. This is our second show of Singer Study, the new series that we're doing. And this is where we listen to some of our favorite singers to better understand how the One Voice theories apply in real-world singing. Jackson, will you please announce our singer that we're studying today and why you chose him?
Our singer today is Brendon Urie of Panic at the Disco. Panic exclamation point at the disco. Woo!
Yes.
I chose him. I mean, he's just a powerhouse. I'm a big fan.
Shall we dive into our first clip?
Let's do it.
This is his live version of This Is Gospel.
They haven't seen the best of us yet. If you only let me go, if you only let me go, 'cause these words are isolation, the fear of falling apart.
Awesome. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I had such a hard time choosing, like, limiting clips of him, because everything I watched, I was like, oh, we have to listen to this.
Yeah.
It's all so good. So, first of all, Jackson, will you break down, in the conventional world of singing before One Voice, how would someone define what he just did?
It's interesting, right? Like, I think it's kind of hard for me to, like, go back. If I was, like, in high school, I would be like, wow, that guy can belt. The guy really can push his chest voice so high, and he has so much volume. He's so loud and has so much power. It's like, honestly, it sounds like he's yelling, but it's pretty. That's how I would say, right? It's like pretty yelling. Yeah.
Totally. I think I would add to that a lot of people would say, oh, he has such like a round, rich tone.
Definitely.
So then One Voice comes along. How would we define what he's doing in One Voice?
Lovely. I would say on this particular recording, for the live recording, when he goes up to the A on go, it is pretty heavy, honestly. It's pretty dang heavy, but it's not squeezed. It's not like tight. It's pretty loose. There's a lot of freedom with that heavy weight, as well as a very large vocal tract, backup vocal tract. And it's just a really cool sound. So we'd break it down: heavy weight, loud, no squeeze or little external tension on top of that large vocal tract.
Yeah, and he's moving through at least 3 coordinations, right?
Yeah.
So he starts in chest, he moves up into rumble, and then, starts in chest, moves into middle, and then just touches into head coordination.
Mm-hmm.
And he has built weights in all of those coordinations.
Exactly.
So cool. Talk a little bit about how his voice changed. I'm curious.
From the get-go, if you listen to like old recordings, he does not sing with that large backup vocal tract. It is way more neutral, if not smaller at times. I think of like what is that? I'm coming. Haven't you people ever heard of? It's very neutral. It's not like that open space that he has, particularly in that song. But I will say he's a singer with such control and such range and ability. He kind of filters in and out of different vocal tracks all the time. And also, if you listen to the live recording stuff versus the production stuff that he's recorded within the studio, it is definitely, I think, more open vocal tract when he does it live as comparison when he does it on the track itself.
Yeah, something I noticed in watching multiple clips of him is we talk about singers' defaults instead of what most people would call what's natural. We call them defaults, the choices people most often make. And he has some defaults, but so many of his choices vary from song to song, moment to moment.
Yeah.
Which makes him so exciting to listen to. Because I'm like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go into light? Are you going to carry weight up into your head coordination? You just never know what you're going to get with him in a really cool and like trusting way.
Totally. I love the second chorus when he goes up. He takes it like an octave above that too later on.
What?
Do it. Yeah. Go to the second chorus real quick if we have time. If we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did he do there, Jackson?
I mean, he definitely went to head coordination. He started on that A, and he just moves up. I think the track gets a little bit smaller, and he, loses a little bit of weight as well. It doesn't matter, though. It's the control, the freedom, the fact he's using a microphone, it feels very right. It's him accompanying himself on piano on that clip. So he has full reign to do whatever he wants there, honestly.
Totally. And the other thing, which we can't see right now, but watching him, what's so cool is he's making these super, super intense sounds. But if you had it on mute, you would have no idea. He's literally sitting, he's just like, let me. But you turn that sound up and it's like, oh. But he's not showing any signs of like reaching or pulling a coordination. Yeah, it's so cool. The next clip I want to look at, this is the song Defo Bachelor, which I had never heard until today, and it's such a jam. So we're going to listen to the recorded version and then compare it to the live version, which sound so totally different, and I want to talk about why. So here's the recorded version.
Do I look lonely? I see the shadows on my face. People have told me I don't look the same.
Awesome. So that's just what we're going to listen to for right now from that one. And on the live version, check this out.
Do I look lonely? I see the shadows on my face. People have told me I don't look the same. Maybe I lost weight, or I'm playing hooky with the best.
Okay, so he sounds like straight up Frank Sinatra, crooner, like that's all he does. Can we break down a little bit? What is he doing differently in those two recordings?
It's definitely, it's not much of a weight difference. It's definitely a vocal track thing. You can hear how on the lower notes, he opens up so much space. Like instead of the recording, for example, do I look lonely? Neutral. It's still, he's still letting it resonate where it wants to go. Still going where it needs to be. But then the minute he goes to live, do I look lonely? It's like all that space. It's not even Lee anymore. It's like Lee with like a bunch of space in the back of the track. So it's all tracked differences, not vocal track differences. Nothing about the weight, nothing about the creation, which is what's brilliant about it. There's just so much freedom and a lot more slides to each note, as opposed to having them all broken down.
Completely, yeah. What do you think about his vibrato?
Oh, what I love about it is, not to go too far with like some theory stuff, but they're the same weight. Lee. It doesn't actually get heavier on the second note. In terms of what we talk about in one voice, we look at vibrato in three different ways, and this particular way, we break it down as there's two pitches occurring. So the second pitch within an oscillation, which is two notes, I would say it's consistently in the same weight. So it gives you this really beautiful, quick, like a quiver, and almost like you said, the crooner vibe happens with that. The weight does not change from second note. Musical theater world, a lot of big beltresses that you have people singing in heavier weight and louder weights. You see a lot of times when they go to that second note within an oscillation, it gets heavier. That's not to go too far with some stuff though. But yeah, that's what I'm noticing with that.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I also noticed in some versions, or some parts of his range, I will say, he hits a glottal articulation vibrato. Have you noticed that?
What explain that for me, please.
So we have the two vibratos we're going to talk about. The first is the pitch one, which is the oscillation in pitch, which you just spoke of. Sounds like, ooh, you speed that up enough to create a vibrato. The other option is the glottal articulation vibrato, which sounds like classic Snow White. I'm going to use this song, even though he doesn't do it here. It's the Do I Look Lonely?
Yeah.
Have you heard him do that before?
Where does he do it? Yeah, please. Do you have an example ready to go?
I don't, and I wish I did. He does it a little bit in, I'm going to pull back up to this clip, the first one we listened to. Listen in the lower range. It's so slight, but And I'm not positive it's called articulation, but yeah.
Yeah, gnashing, right? The gnashing teeth,
Yes.
proverbial tongues. Yeah. I wonder if it comes out from being nervous or if it comes out strictly from a choice. I don't know.
It could be. I've heard him do it a few times on some recordings as well. I think in different coordinations, he uses different techniques for vibrato. Because you listen to him go up, if you love me, let me, and it turns into a pitch vibrato, which I just thought was so interesting. Okay, last clip I'm going to play because I can't help but not. This is his cover of Dream On. Here we go. It's so good.
What does that go to? What is that? G?
It goes to an A flat.
That's insanity.
So that's a note for those of you who are aware of the coordinations theory. That's one note away from whistle coordination. So that's his entire, the very, very top of his head coordination. And as you're watching the video, this like, I don't know what it is, but like smoke comes out of the ground and completely covers him. And he's still just like singing like nothing's happening. It's so cool. Yeah, you can find this on YouTube. I found it on a compilation, Brendon Urie's Best Live Vocals. But Jackson, what did he just do? Like, let's break this down. So when he pops up, he's in head coordination. What weight do you feel like he's singing in?
It sounds mid. Sounds pretty mid. Like right dead smack in the middle of mid-weight. Sounds super free, obviously. I mean, also it's neutral tracks. Nothing got smaller and nothing got larger. It was pretty insanity, honestly. It's pretty awesome.
And the thing I think that makes it sound so rock while still being mid and free is just that extra texture. Is that to you? Does that sound like false folds?
Definitely. That's what I was hearing, at least. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it didn't sound like too heavy on the false folds end, though. That's what like is so brilliant about that, in my opinion.
Just enough to make a midway not sound clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it there's almost like an overtone. It almost sounds like there's a higher pitch above it.
Yeah, you're so right.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
It's awesome. Okay, Jackson, any other thoughts on Brendon Urie?
I feel like we knocked it out of the park. Honestly, it's just really about his control that I'm such a huge fan of, and the freedom that he has up there. It just blows me away. Did we just get a question?
A question or a comment? Josh, hey, dude. Question. People always want to learn how to sing higher. I know. But I'm interested in singing lower. Any advice? I want to hit those bass notes, but my voice just bottoms out around a G. Great question, Josh. Jackson, are you good to wrap up this conversation on Brendon?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on. I'm trying to read that conversation.
Okay, great. So basically he's asking how to sing lower. Based on the coordinations theory, without getting too much into it, men's coordination ranges are at an A. So if you're bottoming out at a G, that leads me to believe that you might not be accessing rumble coordination, but instead trying to pull down chest. Jackson, would you agree with this?
I do.
Okay, great. Jackson, do you have access to rumble, yes?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, this is a great question. It's so true. Like, it's not something that is brought up very often. I mean, I've been like messing with some jazz stuff, crooner stuff, and trying to find the right keys. And a lot of that stuff does go to the bottom of chest or even rumble. And I've just been really awoken to the fact that it's just something that's very weak in my voice. Is it okay if I offer like some advice as well?
Please, yes.
I would say, it's interesting. Like we're applauding Brendon Urie for adding that added vocal tract space as he goes lower. As you explore this area, particularly, try not to add space. Something that Michael brought up, like from one of our first sessions together, is like the fact that the pitch is low because it's low. It doesn't need to sound low, particularly when you're building this area of your voice. You don't have to add that extra texture or the extra tone on it. Don't aim for the tone, aim for just the pitch in itself and let it just move there.
Excellent. Yeah. To give a bit of an example, in my range, if I'm looking at bottom of my chest leaning into rumble coordination, okay, great. That's chest coordination. If I'm now going into rumble and I might not be as comfortable with my low notes,
there you go.
so that's the idea of making notes lower, following it with extending your vocal tract. And I would even go as far to say, try shortening your vocal tract. So talking that SpongeBob voice, and see if you can keep it even on the way down. And that is how I gained access to rumble coordination and really, really built it up. Yeah. Anything else to add to that, Jackson?
No, it's knocked it out of the park. I mean, yeah, there's so many specific reasons, like in theory, of why we like do the SpongeBob voice, but yeah, we're not going to touch on that, which I love. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and once you feel really, really comfortable and strong, and your chords understand, oh, I know how to create these notes, and I know how to create the weight that I want, you can then strip away the SpongeBob vocal tract, and you'll just be left with a strong weight in a new coordination with a normal, not SpongeBob sounding sound. Yeah.
Is that your rumble right there?
That's my first note of rumble.
Yeah, sounds great.
Thanks. I've been working on her. Oh my gosh, I now want to name my coordinations. I'll work on that. I'll get back to you. Wouldn't that be fun? Like personal names. Obviously they have names. Like Sasha is my rumble coordination. You love it. You love me. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. I have a new love for Brendon Urie that I didn't know existed. I'm completely obsessed. So thank you so much, Jackson, for choosing him. Josh, thank you so much for this impromptu question. What an excellent, excellent one for us to discuss. Next week, I will be joined again by Jackson Perrin for another singer study. I know you. And then we're going to be listening to one of my favorites, Daniel Caesar.
Woo!
A yummy one. Same time, same place, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. CT, and we will see you guys there. Thanks so much, Jackson.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.